I'm Debbie Godfrey. Welcome to the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast.
Today's pep talk is on the common mistake of insistence on blind obedience. And this, if you feel impelled to use force, if you regard your child's objection to requests as a grievous curtailment of your prestige and hence a defeat on the domestic battlefield of power politics. And so I think that the way we would term this in today's terms would be our parental authority. So when we get into situations when our child's misbehaving and threatening our parental authority, I think that that's when we lose it often. We become crazy mom or dad. We tend to try to overpower our children. And it's because of our fear of losing our parental authority. And yes, there's so many situations that require our children to behave with blind obedience. For example, if they're in a dangerous situation, we say, get out of the road. We need them to be able to get out of the road. If there's some emergency, we need them to listen when we tell them to do something. But the thing is that those emergencies are not everyday situations. They don't happen that frequently. And when we overuse insistence on blind obedience, when we expect them to just jump to it, in all situations, we lose the influence or the authority that we have in those particular situations that we really need them. If we're careful in terms of when we need their compliance at 100% without any hesitation, if we only use those in emergencies, then usually just a sharp word will do it. And again, the problem is when we overuse this wanting them to comply. So in all the other situations, when they're in misbehavior situations or they're doing things that they're not supposed to do, we need to allow them time to figure out the right thing. So allowing the natural consequences to occur instead of just expecting them to jump to it right this second. I'll give you an example of this. One time my son had spit his gum out on the top of the trash can. And immediately Michelle and Bree were going, ew, Michael put his gum on top of the trash can. It's on the lid. He needs to pick it up. And I could just see him dig his heels in. And if I had said right then, you pick that gum up right now, he would have not done it. He would have dug his heels in. He would have been in a power struggle. The girls were bugging him. If I would have applied more pressure and, again, insistence on blind obedience right on top of that, there's no way we would have done it. So instead, I looked at the girls and said, take care of yourselves. This is not, your business. Michael will put his gum away. And I walked out of the room, and I didn't stand there and watch him and hover over him and put him in a position of being able to dig his heels in. And I was kind of peeking down the hall. I was, a little concerned. I didn't know if he'd do it or not. And it wasn't done, and it wasn't done. And like 20 minutes later, when everybody had left him alone, when nobody was paying attention, he walked into the kitchen and he plucked the gum off the lid of the trash can and he put it in the trash can. So I believe that kids will do the right thing if they're given space and time to do the right thing. And one of the problems is that we don't often give them that time. We want them to do it right now or else. And that's where we get trapped. And according to Dreikur's and according to me, if you allow enough space and time when you get into situations with your children, let them figure out, let them work through, let them decide. Maybe they're asking to have some ice cream before dinner and they know darn well that that's not part of the routine. And instead of just getting upset and saying, how could you ask such a thing, to just nod and smile and let them talk and just be really compassionate, and then they'll finally figure out there's not going to be any ice cream or, whatever before dinner, and that they need to comply with the order, with the routine around our home. If we jump in and fight with them, we're just asking for a power struggle. So avoid those power struggles. Don't insist on blind obedience. Let your kids have some time to figure out the right thing to do and guide them to the right thing to do. Have a great day. Happy parenting.
Thank you so much for joining me here at the Positive Parenting Pep Talks podcast. I assume you're here because you're getting something out of these daily pep talks. And wouldn't it be great if more parents could hear more about these ideas for their children? And you can help me in a great way by liking the episodes, by sharing them on your social media, and especially by providing a review on your platform of choice. So if you could do me a huge favor and do that, it would really help get this out to many, many, many more parents. And we can all help our children feel more seen, heard, and understood, which is my life's work, is to make sure that all children feel loved and appreciated and that we can discipline them without breaking their spirit. So I hope that you've enjoyed these podcasts and will continue to enjoy them. And I really appreciate any support you can give me here at Positive Parenting Pep Talks. Thank you so much. Have a great day and happy parenting.